Hey everyone, welcome to You Can Automate. In this session, we are going to learn about how to add customized tools to AI agents using CrewAI. So topics covered in this session are what is tool and understand why tool is required in AI agent, and we are going to do a coding part, implement the tool section in the AI multi-agent system. In the previous session, we have built the multi-agent system using parallel and hierarchical patterns. So in this session, we are going to see it how customized tool can be added to the agent. So first, let's understand what is tool. A tool is a capability or a function that allows an AI agent to interact with the real world. So for example, if you have built an AI agent and you want to add a customized tool, so all the information whatever you're looking for may not be available with the LLM, right? So you need to have some customized tool. Assume that you are working on building multi-agent system for given specific problem, and you want to add some customized API or a database as a tool so that LLM can perform better. In those kind of scenarios, you will require a tool. Tool helps the agent to get the information, perform actions, process data or beyond its knowledge. So what are the different types of tools we have is search tool. It can search the internet for real time or updated information. You can take any of the real time applications. You can take an example of cricket score or weather API. Database, it could be of reading the data from a database, also getting the weather details from weather APIs. Calendar, create, read or update the events and schedules. Calculator, perform mathematical calculation and solve expressions on real time. It could be of any other custom API. So why tools matters is access real time information, get the latest data from the world, take the actions in the real world, improve the accuracy and reliability. As you are providing extra information to the LLMs, LLM can work better, make agents more powerful by adding a tools into that, fully customizable and extensible. So you can add any of the custom tools whichever you have it to the agents. If you take an example of weather tool, how the tool works in this is, what is the weather in Paris today? If you are asking a question, first the query goes to user input. So agent saying that to answer this particular question whether I need any extra information or any extra tool, then it will go and check in the tools, then it will decide which tool is required. Based on that, it will call the tool, then the tool execution happens, then it will provide the result will be coming from the tool, then the response will come to agent, then agent will go and respond for the question. So this is how exactly the tools works with the agent. Now let's get into the coding part. We will implement these tools into the existing AI agent which we have created in the previous session. This is a repo which we have created in the last session, so we are going to use the same code and add the tools here. This is the weather API system. So here if you just log in into this API and copy this token which is coming for your account, and you can access the weather APIs. So I am using the particular weather API from this website to get the real-time data of any of the city. So this is the API which I have captured, the weather API, and if you pass the key here and city name here, it will give you a weather details of the any given city. So this is the response which is coming, that it is saying the location and what are the details about the location and the current weather temperature details, all the other wind details, everything is coming in this as part of the response. So we are going to use this particular API as a tool into our multi-agent system. First thing is I need to add a CrewAI tools into my requirement.txt so that I can build my tools. So adding the library name here, that is CrewAI -tools. This will help me to add a customized tools here. So once I add the tools, just go to terminal and run the pip install -requirement.txt so that the new library which you have added, that will be added to your environment. So this library got added to our environment. Now the next thing is I need to go and create the tools. Inside this I'm creating one folder here called tools. Inside that I'm going to create a Python file for weather API. So let me add a Python file here, weather_tool, right? This will be my Python file, and inside that I'm going to add a get weather API. First let me add the import statement here, import OS, and I'm going to import the request also to hit the API. After that I need to import the CrewAI tools. From CrewAI tools, import tools. So this will help me to add the tool. Next is I need to add a tool. This is how you can add the tool. Any customized tool you can add it here. Add tool, and inside that you can provide the tool name. Here I'm providing it as weather API tool, and here I'm going to write a function for weather API. So def get weather here, so that it will give me a weather details. For this weather function I am passing the city as a parameter so that it can read the weather details from a given city here. After that add the doc string here. This is very important. You need to add the doc string for any of the given tool so that LLM will understand what this particular API, what this particular function will do it. After that add some of the params here. What are the parameters which I want to pass here? So here I need to send a key, that is API key for accessing the weather API, that I'll be passing here, API key, and after that I need to pass the city. This is a query parameter and this is about the parameters. First let me add the API key here. This API key I will get it from env file. So os.getEnv and the API key here. Next thing is URL. This URL, the base URL, which I'll take it from this API here. This is my URL. I'm adding it here. Now let's hit the endpoint and get the response. To hit the endpoint, I'm using response equals to request dot get URL. I need to pass the URL and the parameter here. So this is my URL and the params. Then the timeout. Here I'm adding timeout as 10 seconds. So once I get the response, I need to convert into a data part and then I need to access the data. From this API response, I need two details. One is location and another one is a current. I need to access these two objects and this particular two objects has many data. So let me read this particular location object from this entire response. Location equals to data of location, and similarly I want to fetch the current object also, that is data of current. Then from response I want to fetch few parameters from this location and current. So here I am adding different parameters so that I want to return all those parameters from the entire response. These are the details from entire response. I want to fetch the location and temperature, humidity and wind speed. All those details I want to pass it as a return response here. And in the .env file I need to add the API key here, that is weather API key, and here I'll be adding the key which I have copied from this particular website. Key I have copied from here and the same key I have added here. After this I need to do some changes in the agents and task file. So this is the code which we have written in the previous session. I want to do two changes here. So as part of this attraction agent, I want to call the weather tool here. Let me do some modification in the goal part. This is how my goal looks like. Here I am writing it as find the best tourist attraction for destination and consider the current weather condition when making any recommendation. So here I have added a weather recommendation, that is extra thing which I have added because I am going to add the weather tool here. And after that I need to modify a little bit the backstory also. I need to provide the context also about the weather. Here I am adding a context as you can use the weather API tool to check the current weather condition for the destination and use that information when recommending outdoor and indoor attractions. So after that I need to call that particular tool here. So to call any of the tool I need to mention as tool equals to the tool name, whatever I want to call it. So in the bracket I will provide the tool name here. So tool name is get_weather. So I need to mention the same tool name here and I need to import that particular function here. From tools I want to import the tool function, getWeather function. So tools.weather_tool import getWeather here, and let me add the init.py file here. And coming to travel_task, here I need to do little bit changes here according to the tool which we have added here. So here I'm writing that coordinate with the specialist agents. So I have updated like the attraction researcher should check the current weather condition using weather API tool and use the weather information when recommending attractions. So this is how my detailing look like for a given task, and consider the weather condition when creating the final itinerary. And in the expected output also I need to mention about the weather details. Here I've added all the expected output, and in the end I need to mention about the weather aware activity recommendations. This is the extra thing which I've added the existing one. That's it about the change related to adding a tool into the agents. Let me go and run this particular code to see how this tool will behave when I run the agent. Agent execution got started and it started calling the different agents and different tools. So it will be almost same as the previous session. So I am not repeating the entire output here. I will be focusing only on the tool execution here. If you scroll down, it says in the delegation also, it says that delegate _work to a coworker, and it says that check the current weather condition in Paris for the duration of a trip, and it is providing the context also, right? It is important to know the weather conditions for recommending any of the places. So in the attraction agent started, and the task is also displaying that check the current weather condition, and here the tool is being called weather_API_tool, and the city is being passed as a Paris, and all the details which is coming from the API is printed here. What is the weather in the Paris, what is the temperature temperature and what is the weather condition, humidity and the wind speed also being displayed here, which is directly coming from the API and agent is displaying here. Similarly, that it says that tool execution got completed here, and in the final answer also all the weather details are printed here. And if you scroll down, some more details are printed here. What is the recommendation considering the weather conditions, and it says that given the warm and sunny weather, here are some recommendations based on the weather conditions. It is giving some different recommendation. Weather output is coming from the API and the recommendation is being provided by the agent. If you scroll down, all the other details will be the same as the previous session. I'll be focusing on weather part only here. Let's scroll down, and in the final answer, which is coming from the manager, here it has considered the weather details and all the weather details are being printed here. It says that current weather in the Paris is 31 degrees Celsius and what is other details which is mentioned here. And if you scroll down, there is a weather activity recommendation. Given the warm and sunny weather, prioritize outdoor activities in the morning and late afternoon. Take advantage of the pleasant evening for leisurely strolls or dining all fresco and enjoying scenic views. This is recommended by the agent based on the weather details which is coming from the tool. So this is about adding the tool, how you can add the tool by using add tools function, and how you can call the customized tool in the specific agent, and how you can make use of the existing task. So I'll push this particular code into the GitHub repository. Try this and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.